All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a story that honestly feels like it's straight out of a movie. It's this epic tale, full of history, passion, and a tradition so powerful, it could maybe, just maybe, heal a wound that's been open for 65 years. So, get this. Imagine a story where the world's finest cigars are the actual key to healing decades of division. That's the mind-blowing premise of the novel La Unión del Humo by Edo Cruz. And you've got to understand, it's not really about tobacco. No, it's about something way bigger, how a shared craft, a passion, could be powerful enough to bring families back together after a revolution tore them apart. Okay, so to really get to the heart of this thing, we've got to jump in the time machine, right? We have to go back. We need to look at how one single event kicked off a division that would literally span generations, more than half a century.
It all starts back in 1959. This is the moment of the Cuban tobacco exodus. Think about that. A single event that forced the absolute legends of cigar making, these iconic families, to just up and leave their homeland. And this wasn't just about them scattering across the globe. No, it planted these deep seeds of a really bitter rivalry, one that just simmered under the surface for the next 65 years.
And we're not talking about just any families here. These were the titans of the tobacco world. I mean, you've got the Fuentes, the Padróns, the Plasencias, the Eiroas, and the Quesadas. These families were the keepers of an almost sacred craft, and they carried literally centuries of knowledge and mastery with them when they were forced into exile. But here's the thing. They didn't just survive out there, they thrived. I mean, they absolutely crushed it. They built new empires from the ground up, turning places like the Dominican Republic, Honduras, and Nicaragua into the new capitals of the cigar world. But ironically, all that incredible success, it just poured gasoline on the fire of their competition, making that division between them even deeper on the world stage.
But even with all that turmoil, all that separation, there was a secret, a hidden promise of unity, tucked away, just waiting for the perfect moment to be found.
And this secret, it's the symbolic heart of the entire story. It's called the Union. You see, right before they had to flee, the patriarchs, the heads of these great families, they got together one last time. And what they did was create and hide this secret collection of their absolute best cigars. Now, this wasn't just a box of smokes, not even close. It was a time capsule, a physical symbol of their shared identity. It was a beacon of hope, a message to the future, that maybe, just maybe, their descendants could find a way back to each other.
All right, so let's jump forward to today. After all those decades of silence, of fierce rivalry, something happens. Something that completely flips the script. The past is about to be unlocked.
Think about that number for a second. 65 years. For more than 6 decades, this incredible symbol of unity was just dormant. An entire generation was born and grew up knowing nothing but the rivalry. They had no idea about the promise their ancestors made. And it's that sheer weight of time that makes its discovery so incredibly powerful. You know, every great story needs a catalyst, right? The spark that sets everything in motion. Well, in this story, that spark comes in the form of 2 pretty mysterious mediators, Dantes Cruz and Sandro Romano. These 2 unearth the lost treasure, and they decide they're not just going to sit on it. They're going to use it to do something that seems completely impossible, orchestrate a reconciliation. And this is the core transformation of the whole story. On one hand, you've got the status quo, right? Decades of bitter, painful competition born from being exiled. But on the other hand, you have the potential for a totally new future, a collaborative triumph, all sparked by finding this shared piece of their past. That's the central conflict, and that's really the ultimate hope driving this entire story. So that brings us to the final act. And this is where we really get into the powerful idea of healing. Because it's not about politics, it's not about business deals. No, it's about something much, much deeper. The path to getting there is very intentional. It's a clear set of steps. First, you have the discovery of the union, which is the big call to action. Then, there's this unprecedented reunion that finally gets these rival families in the same room. And last, and this is the most important part, their shared heritage, the craft of the cigar, is used not as a weapon, but as a tool, a foundation to build bridges. So, when you boil it all down, this story isn't really just about cigars. It uses them as a lens, a way to explore something profoundly human,
We're talking about the courage it takes to forgive and the wisdom to realize that the things connecting us are often way stronger than the things that try to tear us apart.
I mean, how powerful and poetic is that? The very thing they fought over for decades, the quality of their tobacco, the smoke from their cigars, is completely transformed. It stops being a symbol of competition and becomes a shared ritual. It becomes this silent language of peace, of mutual respect, connecting them all the way back to their shared roots, their common ancestors.
So the key takeaways from La Unión del Humo are just so powerful and so clear, that a shared heritage can be bigger than any political border, that real forgiveness takes guts, that tradition doesn't have to be a wall that divides us, it can be a bridge that connects us. It's really just a profound celebration of resilience, of craft, and ultimately of reconciliation.
And even though this story is an epic about cigars and these specific Cuban families, its theme is completely universal, isn't it? It kind of makes you stop and wonder, what shared heritage exists out there in our own world, right now, just waiting to be rediscovered, that could be the key to healing some long-standing divide? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.